Cousins are often like built-in best friends. They're the ones who stand by you during family gatherings, share your secrets, and sometimes even feel like siblings. But what happens when that bond takes a dark turn? In this heartbreaking case, the relationship between two young cousins became a tragedy that no one could have seen coming. As the District Attorney General stated, "I consider this to be one of the most disturbing, violent acts committed by either an adult or juvenile that my office has prosecuted." These words make it clear. This was no ordinary crime, and it revolves around a 12-year-old girl who took the life of her 8-year-old cousin in an unthinkably brutal way. What makes this case even harder to grasp is that it all started over something as small as an iPhone. Yes, you heard that right. A simple digital device became the spark for an event so horrific that it shattered a family, possibly leaving wounds that may never heal. But the horror didn't stop with the act itself. After ending her cousin's life, the young girl carefully repositioned the body to make it seem like her cousin was peacefully sleeping. Without the crucial CCTV footage that captured the events, the truth of what happened might have remained a mystery forever. So, what could push a 12-year-old to such an extreme? Was there something deeper going on beneath the surface? In this video, you'll see why this crime is regarded as one of the most disturbing cases involving a juvenile. So, stay tuned until the end. The 8-year-old little girl we are going to talk about today is named Demeria Hollingsworth. She was born and raised in Nashville, where she attended Cockrell Elementary School. Demeria was known by everyone around her as an exceptionally bright and intelligent child. She had a love for books, always eager to dive into a new story. But reading wasn't her only passion. Demeria also loved being outdoors, whether it was riding her bike, swimming, or playing with the kids in her neighborhood. Her friendly and joyful nature made her easy to love. In fact, her mother said that wherever she went, she quickly made new friends. Demeria's cheerful personality was infectious. She was always smiling and bringing happiness to those around her. She also excelled in school and was known for her kind heart, especially when it came to her little sister, whom she adored and often showered with hugs. And since it was the summer, Demeria and her 12-year-old cousin decided to have a sleepover at their grandmother's house. It was supposed to be a fun, carefree time for the two young girls, enjoying their summer break together. As a mother, you'd never expect anything out of the ordinary from such an innocent plan. After all, they were just children, and they were known to be close. Demeria's mother had no reason to worry and happily agreed, thinking her daughter was going to have a fun-filled summer sleepover with her cousin. The night came, and the two young girls were sharing a bunk bed together. It's still unclear who the iPhone belonged to, but the two girls began arguing over the phone. The disagreement escalated, and in an unthinkable act, the 12-year-old suffocated Demeria while she was lying in the top bunk. Since the suspect was a minor, her name was not publicly released. However, she was later charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Gibson District Attorney Frederick Agee shared chilling details after CCTV footage connected to Demeria's death was discovered. We won't be showing the CCTV footage due to its graphic nature, but in the video, the 12-year-old girl, who was just months away from turning 13, can be seen using bedding to suffocate her 8-year-old cousin while she slept in the top bunk. Tragically, Demeria woke up during the suffocation and struggled for a minute before losing her life. What happened next was even more unsettling. The older child didn't panic or run away after committing the act. Instead, she carefully wiped the 8-year-old's body and face, trying to clean up any traces of what she had done. In a chilling move, she then repositioned her cousin's body, carefully placing her under the covers to make it look like she was peacefully sleeping. This incident, which took place at their grandmother's house, has left many in shock. It wasn't just any random conflict. This was family. Two cousins who were known to be close somehow let an argument over something as small as an iPhone spiral out of control, leading to an unimaginable tragedy. This wasn't just an accident or a heat-of-the-moment decision. It was a calculated action followed by an attempt to cover up the crime. And the fact that she peacefully slept through the night, acting as if nothing had happened, makes this tragedy even more heartbreaking. The next morning, when their grandmother realized something was wrong, she immediately called for help, but couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. But the truth of what happened didn't come to light until much later. After the murder, 2 days passed before the family discovered the real cause of Demeria's death. It was only when the grandmother reviewed the footage from the room that the horrific reality became clear. By the way, I post true crime and never before heard cases here every day. So, if that sounds like your kind of thing, please consider subscribing. This raises an important question. Why was there a camera in the room? Some speculate that this may not have been the first sign of trouble. Perhaps there had been concerns about the behavior of the older child that led to the decision to install surveillance in the first place. As any mother would, Demeria's mom, Rayana Smith, was absolutely devastated by the news. When they told me what happened, I just couldn't believe it. I should have just gone to get my baby, Smith shared with WREG. But they were having fun for the summer, and I never thought she would kill my child. This shocking incident unfolded in Humboldt, Tennessee, though neither the suspect nor the victim actually lived there. As the trial date gets closer, the young girl faces serious charges of first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. There's also a movement to try her as an adult, which could mean a longer prison sentence and stricter supervision or mental health treatment. So when Demeria's mother came face-to-face with the 12-year-old in court, the emotional weight of the situation became too much for her to bear. Overwhelmed by grief and heartache, she couldn't hold back her tears. The conversation around this tragic case is stirring up a lot of emotions and questions. People are wondering about the mental health of the 12-year-old. Did she have any hidden struggles? Had she ever received therapy before this terrible event? While news reports haven't confirmed any specific mental health issues, one thing is clear: this girl's brain is still developing. Licensed professional counselor Jasmine Boone recently shared her thoughts on this topic, emphasizing that at just 12 years old, the girl's prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, understanding consequences, and weighing options, is still developing. It won't fully mature for another 12 to 13 years, which raises significant questions about whether she truly grasped the seriousness of her actions. While prosecutors are eager to try her as an adult, it's vital to recognize that who she is now won't be the same as who she will become as she grows older.
Adult. They want to try her as adult, but who she is at 12 will not be who she is at 24, 30, 40. Like literally her brain is not fully matured, right? And so I personally and professionally don't think she should be tried as an adult.
But most people also disagree with this statement, believing that children like her may be mentally disturbed. They argue that if she were to come out of this situation unscathed and walk free, there's a good chance she might end up back in prison for similar reasons. The trauma of living through such a horrific event can leave lasting scars, making it hard for her to return to a normal life. The past will likely haunt her, affecting her thoughts and actions as she grows older. This case also sparks a larger conversation about the effects of modern technology and social media on young minds. Today's kids are surrounded by violent images and videos, leading many experts to believe that constant exposure can desensitize them to real-life violence. They may witness aggression online and think they understand it, but the actual consequences of their actions often remain unclear. In this instance, the conflict originated from a dispute over an iPhone, a device that has become nearly as essential as food or shelter for many young people. Over the last few years, we've seen a growing number of disturbing crimes committed by juveniles, and many of them show little to no remorse. Some believe that these children think they can escape consequences simply because of their age. Another recent case highlights this issue. In April, a 10-year-old Texas boy admitted to killing a man when he was just 7. Authorities said the boy shot 32-year-old Brandon Raspberry in the head while he slept in an RV using a gun he took from his grandfather's truck. What makes this case even more chilling is that the boy had never met Raspberry and had no apparent motive for the killing. After the crime, the boy calmly returned the gun to his grandfather's truck, as if nothing had happened. Due to his age at the time of the murder, Texas law prevented him from being charged. He's now in juvenile detention for threatening another student, but Raspberry's family is still seeking justice, deeply shaken by the senseless nature of the crime. This case is part of a worrying trend where very young kids are committing serious crimes, making us wonder how much responsibility they should actually bear. A similar incident happened just recently in March when two brothers, only 12 and 7 years old, were accused of stabbing a 59-year-old woman in Texas. The older brother has been charged with aggravated assault, while his younger brother couldn't be charged because Texas law says you have to be at least 10 to face charges. The story is unsettling. It began with a simple argument between the woman, who has a mental illness, and the boys in their neighborhood. At first, the boys left when a neighbor told them to go, but what makes this case chilling is that they came back just 12 minutes later, this time wearing gloves. Surveillance footage captured the moment they rushed toward the woman and attacked her. The mother of the boys later spoke out, saying that her 12-year-old son struggles with mental health issues and apologizing to the victim's family. Another disturbing case that highlights similar issues comes from Michigan, where 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley carried out a mass shooting at Oxford High School. He tragically killed 4 students and injured 7 others. What makes this case also notable is that his parents, James and Jennifer Crumbley, became the first parents in the U.S. ever to be charged and convicted in connection with their child's mass school shooting. They were each sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison after facing the victims' families in court. The Crumbleys' sentencing followed the conviction of their son, Ethan, who pleaded guilty as an adult and received a life sentence for the 2021 shooting. The judge, Cheryl Matthews, made it clear that their convictions weren't just about bad parenting. They were about repeatedly ignoring clear warning signs that something terrible was about to happen. Matthews emphasized that the couple's negligence could have stopped what she called a runaway train. As they sat in court, the parents of the 4 victims asked for the harshest possible punishment. One heart-wrenching moment came from Nicole Bosley, the mother of Madison Baldwin, one of the students killed. She recounted how, while Jennifer Crumbley was texting her son, "Ethan, don't do it," she was texting her daughter, "Madison, I love you. Please call Mom." Her daughter never responded. Prosecutors in the case argued that Jennifer Crumbley knew about her son Ethan's worsening mental health, social isolation, and his access to a gun. Instead of addressing these serious concerns, they claimed she was more focused on her hobbies and an extramarital affair. Her defense lawyer tried to paint a different picture, presenting her as a caring mother who didn't know the extent of her son's capabilities for violence. The lawyer also suggested that the school had failed to properly inform her of Ethan's struggles and that her husband was responsible for the gun. In her sentencing memo, defense attorney Shannon Smith accused critics of being sexist, writing that calling Jennifer rarely home was a misogynistic attack. Jennifer herself, in a pre-sentence report, expressed regret, saying that with hindsight, she would have acted differently, knowing what she knows now. The trial focused heavily on the events leading up to the day of the shooting. Prosecutors noted that just days before the shooting, James Crumbley purchased the gun for Ethan, and Jennifer took him to a gun range. Things escalated when a teacher found a disturbing note on Ethan's desk the morning of the shooting, depicting a gun and someone being shot with the words, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me." The school summoned the Crumbleys for a meeting, but despite the severity of the note, the parents refused to take Ethan home, citing work obligations. School officials later testified that had they known Ethan had access to a gun, they would have acted more aggressively to ensure the safety of the students. Tragically, later that same day, Ethan carried out the shooting, killing 4 students: Madison Baldwin, Tate Meyer, Hannah St. Juliana, and Justin Schilling. Cases like these force us to question everything we thought we knew about parenting and its impact on children committing such terrible crimes. Parenting plays a huge role in shaping the outcomes of young people, especially when it comes to preventing violence. So, when people debate whether the 12-year-old girl who killed Demeria should be tried as an adult, these cases remind us that regardless of age, those showing early signs of mental struggles and violent tendencies need serious intervention. The reality is that these early warning signs are often indicators that something worse could be on the horizon. Ignoring them not only puts others at risk, but also fails the child, who might need help before it's too late. Whether they are children or not, allowing them to walk free without proper consequences or treatment can lead to even more tragic outcomes in the future. The heartache felt by Demeria Hollingsworth's mother is almost unimaginable. No mother should ever have to endure such pain. The news has shattered their family, and it's clear that healing will take a long time. It's hard to picture how they can come together again after such an incident. In light of these tragic events, a vigil for the 8-year-old Demeria brought her family together to honor her memory at Cockrell Elementary School on a somber July 19th, 4 days after she was killed. The atmosphere was heavy with sadness, but love and support filled the air as balloons floated up into the sky and candles flickered in the darkness. More than a dozen people came together at the school, a place where Demeria spent so much of her childhood. They prayed for her and shared memories, each story adding to the picture of a vibrant girl who brought joy to everyone around her. She was full of energy, always happy, outgoing, and smart. She made straight A's and was always on the principal's list, said Tamara Pullum, Demeria's grandmother. She was my girl. This was a senseless tragedy, and she will be truly missed, dearly missed, severely missed. Demeria had been a part of the Cockrell Elementary community since she was in pre-K, and her spirit touched the hearts of many. Her classmates and friends held on to the hope that she would never be forgotten, promising to keep her memory alive. A heartbroken Rayana Smith, Demeria's mother, expressed her grief in an interview saying, "The last time I saw my baby, she was smiling, giving me kisses, and telling me she would see me when it was time to come back home. But now, she's never coming back home. And that's a reality I have to face every single day." As tears streamed down her face, Demeria's mother opened up about the immense pain she was enduring. In the midst of her heartache, she set up a GoFundMe page to help cover the funeral expenses, which has already raised over $18,000. In the heartfelt description, she wrote, "I just lost my baby, the most beautiful child of God, on Monday, July 15th. The pain I'm feeling is unbearable. I now have to navigate this crazy world without her. But I also have another child who depends on me, and I must be strong for her because she has lost her big sister too. I never imagined anything like this could happen, and now I'm left trying to figure out how to pay for a funeral." While death is something we all face, young Demeria was taken from us far too soon, due to a senseless tragedy that began with an iPhone. Though the older cousin's background hasn't been fully revealed, it's clear that there's more beneath the surface. Some speculate that her upbringing may have been troubled, contributing to this heartbreaking act of violence. So let's remember to stay aware. Always keep an eye on your surroundings and the people you're with, even if they're family. Life can change in an instant, and it's tough to face those changes if you're not safe along the way. If you want to help bring more cases like this to light, please be sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more true crime videos. Take care, and see you in the next one.